He said, go out there and get you a chisel and a hammer. And he said, I want you to remake those tablets. Now, Moses couldn't go to the craftsman section of Sears and get hand tools to make those. God told him, by in the morning, I want you to have 2 brand new tablets hewn out of stone, just like the ones that I hewn out the first time. And I want you to bring them back up the mountain, and when you bring them back up the mountain, then I'll write the 10 Commandments on them again.
Right.
So Moses had to work all night to get those stones hewn out, hammer and a chisel. He walked back up the mountain the next day, and God wrote the 10 Commandments on those stones again. God thought those stones were important enough that he told the children of Israel, put them in the Ark of the Covenant. Wherever you go, take them with you. Now, why did they do that? God wanted to remind them of the 10 Commandments. Why did Judge Moore, why would anybody put a replica, if you will, a stone monument to the 10 Commandments in a courthouse? Well, duh, as they say in California, the law of the United States of America, even if you're not religious, you can be an absolute atheist. And I have some atheist acquaintances that are lawyers, and they would tell you that without the 10 Commandments, they wouldn't have a leg to stand on in the law circles that they walk in. You see, even the atheists have enough sense to know that you have a country here that's based on something. You have to go back to something. And our law goes back to the 10 Commandments. Now, we as Christians and we as people who love God and believe in God, and that's what we're here about, we're here to raise up Jesus Christ. And we're here to take a stand and say, those 10 Commandments are going to stay in that building.
Amen, brother. You got that right.
They're going to stay there.
Amen.
They're not going to take them out.
Everybody say amen on that.
Amen. On duty there tonight, and they're going to stay on duty, and we're going to guard the 10 Commandments, and they're not going to be taken out of that building. And we're dead serious about that. And if some of us have to end up dead because we're dead serious about it, well, I'm in a hurry to get to heaven anyway.
Shortcut, brother.
Like.
Shortcut.
I know what it's like. Because the Bible makes it very clear what heaven is like.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're expecting a call in a little while from Coach down there in Ohio. Here's a man who got in a lot of trouble because he dared have his ball team pray, and we're hoping he's going to talk to us here in a little bit. And who else wants? You got anybody else here wants to?
I'd like to say something.
All right, hang on a minute. We got another one of these street preachers here that would like to share a little bit with us.
Pass your camera backwards.
And I'm going to put the microphone to him and let him tell us who he is and why he's here.
I'd like to say this to Mr. D. Mr. D, they have the 10 Commandments in the Supreme Court building in Washington, D.C., and we have it right down here in Alabama. And why don't you go up over your ACLU and that Layne and America United and tell them they got to take the commandments out of the Supreme Court building. And if you go up and talk to some of them folks up there in Washington, they tell you they got a 40 title, and I don't think you can remove them 10 Commandments. And you know, in 1782, the Congress passed a law when they wrote the Bible in Philadelphia, and Congress approved the Bible be read in public, in school. In 1963, they let the ACLU and old madman in Ohio, she's burning like a piece of sausage in hell, going against the principles and things of God. And since we took the Bible out of school, we replaced it with condoms, policemen, sniffing dogs, and not up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, they got metal detectors, and they brag on the metal detectors. When I was going to school, today we say our kids need Ritalin. I tell you what our kids need today, they need a red rear end for some respect for God's word. I don't have appropriate.
Amen, brother.
But
all right.
The ACLU go over in India and practice their First Amendment and talk about old Muslim,
Amen,
and Allah and Muhammad, and talk about the cows down there in India and talk about their God, and see how far Mr. D will practice his law and set up his, I'll tell you, I'll say this before I get off there. 704,000 dead incurred here about the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, let them pay it.
Judge Moore used some taxes on they wasn't planning on. Well, they're going to use some more taxes on you, Mr. Dave. But I'm telling you, if anybody wants to pay the bill, let it be Judge Warren Thomas, because he made a blunder. And if you read Psalm chapter 2 verse 10 and 11, the judges and the kings supposed to listen and obey God, and the judges be instructed, and serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. And these heathen reprobate lawyers, and back up in Pennsylvania we got now, you cannot preach from the Bible in public, say anything about the sodomites. I tell you, the sodomites got no rights, and somebody needs to stand up and tell these people that love the sodomites, we don't hate sodomites, we like to see them saved.
Amen.
But I'm telling you, they practice their right. We kill 4,800 little babies every day, 46 million yearly, and the blood runs deep in America. Amen. And God hates that sin, and that's what it is. And the doctors procure oaths, and now we pass laws all over the country about sodomy, and they take away our rights, and when we got no rights, it's like in Abe Lincoln's day, he said the Congress and the court shall not override the Constitution, but the men who pervert the Constitution. On the same day, they passed the First Amendment in 1779, I think, September 24th. Congress called on Washington to proclaim a day of fast and Thanksgiving, and nobody complained, nobody grumbled. And I tell you who started the ACLU, Beaumont and Carlos Lamont, I think. Roger, I can't think his name. One of them's a humanist, and what we have out of that two outfits that come out of ungodly living, no doubt. But I'm telling you, we're living in some perilous times and dangerous times. If this nation don't come back to God, I got a sign that that it's over at Reinhardt, Quincy, Bill Court, or Allen, Chattanooga, Tennessee, does the Ten Commandments out of the courthouse, or reach out in Hamilton County. And I say, impeach these people like the iron judge, these Tenth Amendments, he's overriding, and he's not affecting our country one bit when we take God, and this is God out of our country and our society. Person, when he got sworn in, listen, here, when he got sworn in, he said that this country could not be governed without God and the Bible.
That's right. Yes,
and in 1863, Abraham Lincoln, he proclaimed a day of fast and Thanksgiving, National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving Humiliation right. For our country, and nobody complained. But now we got a bunch of devils wanting to run us out of the country, suppress us, and keep us shut down, and they're passing laws left and right, trying to shut us up. But you know it's going to shut. There ain't a fist big enough, and not a pocketbook big enough to shut us up. And what you
right.
see
Amen.
In this country today, somebody better stand up. Stand up now before it's everlasting too late till we got no rights. And listen, when we start fearing the government, Benjamin Franklin said this, when we fear the government, at this Tennessee, I was reading in the paper this week, Tennessee, number 3 in shacking up. They call it cohabiting. I call it shacking up. Can man take fire in his blood and his clothes not be burnt? Can he walk up on hot coal and his feet not be burnt? He'll get a wound and dishonor is what he'll get for committing adultery. And marriage is honorable in the bed undefiled. You need to wet now, or you got
No, go ahead.
But
well, I tell you what. Okay, hang on. That's a good place for us to take a little break here. We're going to keep talking. Yeah. Okay, who's on the line?